The story of Mothman, the uninvited Mothman. If there's one thing Americans love more than burgers and the Bachelor season finales, it's a good horror story. And few are as iconic as the legend of Mothman, the mysterious creature that terrorized Point Pleasant, West Virginia, in the 1960s and, for some reason, ended up becoming a tourist attraction with its own museum, festival, and even a statue with superhero abs. But let's take it step by step. It all began in November 1966, when two young couples were driving through an abandoned area known as the TNT area, because apparently in the 60s, there were no better places to hang out than old explosive factories. Suddenly, in the darkness, they saw a gigantic creature with enormous wings and glowing red eyes that looked like two neon signs on Black Friday. And like any sane person would do, they slammed the gas and sped away, only to realize that the thing was chasing them at over 100 kilometers per hour. No one knows exactly what scared the teens more: the fact that a giant monster was following them, or the thought of gas prices in the 60s compared to today. When they made it back to town, they told their story with the same energy as someone who had just seen their life flash before their eyes. But as expected, people didn't believe them at first. It was probably an owl, some said, or a guy in a bat suit, others suggested. No one seemed too concerned until more and more people started seeing the same creature. Farmers spotted it perched on their barns, drivers swore it appeared in the middle of the road, and some even claimed their TVs started glitching right before Mothman showed up. Although, to be fair, in the 60s, TV antennas failed if the wind so much as sneezed. The rumors hit the newspapers, and someone, either a marketing genius or just someone who liked comic books, decided to call it Mothman, probably because demonic gargoyle with wings and eyes that stare into your soul wasn't as catchy. The press turned it into a sensation, and suddenly everyone in Point Pleasant had a Mothman story. Was it a mutant? An alien? A failed government experiment? No one knew. But the story took an even weirder turn in December 1967. Just as Mothman fever was at its peak, the Silver Bridge, the bridge connecting Point Pleasant to Ohio, suddenly collapsed, killing 46 people. And that's when the paranoia hit maximum conspiracy mode. Many people claimed they had seen Mothman lurking near the bridge in the days leading up to the collapse. He wasn't attacking it or doing anything destructive, just watching. And with that, the creature went from being a terrifying monster to something even creepier, a harbinger of doom. Because if there's anything scarier than a giant creature with glowing red eyes following you, it's a giant creature with glowing red eyes following you and bringing bad news. After the bridge collapse, Mothman disappeared. Did he move to another town? Return to his home planet? Retire to Florida like any other senior citizen? No one knows. But what we do know is that decades later, Point Pleasant decided that if they were going to be famous for a monster, they might as well profit from it. So they built a museum, created an annual festival with costumes and merch, and even put up an epic statue of Mothman with muscles that not even Superman has. Because if Hollywood has taught us anything, it's that even monsters can be celebrities. Today, Mothman remains a mystery. Some say he's still lurking in some dark corner of the TNT forest, waiting for his big comeback. Others believe he's just an urban legend that got blown out of proportion over time. But one thing is for sure, real or not, Mothman achieved something many of us dream of: going from a terrifying creature to a full-blown legend. And that, my friends, is the true American dream.